Hi, everyone. 30 plus years ago in 1991, I had the pleasure of going to the first and only stadium concert that I've ever been to. And that was the band U2 at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. I was lucky enough that a friend invited me and had tickets for, I think it was the fourth row or right up front. And it was incredible. The lights, the sound, the lead singer actually was behind me at some points on the catwalk. I'll never forget it. It was incredible. The people that I was with, the stadium itself, it was a beautiful night, and I didn't know until much later that my future wife was in the crowd too. Now, I've listened to U2 songs and on cassette and CD and Spotify hundreds of times since then. I've watched YouTube videos and concert footage. I'm a big fan of the band, but none of that replaced the live experience. None of it. All together, those hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of views didn't replace the real thing. And I remember it to this day. You know, we used video effectively during the pandemic. And for a year and a half or more, we were able to capture the imagination and the eyes of lots of people near and far. Our regular church members, people in different cities, people in different states, and it was fantastic. You all were very patient with it. Dave Moyman did a fantastic job, as he always does, with the editing and the sound and everything to make church come alive as much as possible in your living room, in your car, at your office, wherever you were watching. But it's time for a change. It's time to put video back in its proper place when it comes to church. We need you. We need your presence. We need your energy. We need everything about you, your presence, your voice, everything here at Trinity. Whether it's a worship service or a meeting or an activity, whatever it might be. You can wear a mask if you want, but nothing replaces your presence. I want you to think about these few things. Let's say that your daughter got the lead in the school play and she was so excited. And she said, "Dad, are you going to come and see me in the play?" And you said, "No, honey, I think I'll just watch the video afterwards. And while I'm watching, I can get some work done too." What would the look be on her face? Let's say that you discovered one night, late in the evening, that your water heater had finally rusted out in the bottom, and there was water all over your basement. You called the emergency plumber, and they said, we aren't really coming out anymore. We'll send you a YouTube video, and you can take care of it yourself. Or how about if you had a terrible toothache, and you called your dentist, and your dentist said, "Hey, do you have FaceTime on your phone? Why don't you just put that up to your mouth and grab some tools and I'll walk you through it." You'd be mortified. The fact is, video is great for our shut-ins, those who are hospitalized, those who might be traveling or living in another city and state and want to participate in the worship and the other activities. But it's not great for how church was meant to be, a community of people gathered around Christ. Our meetings go better when we're all around the table and can hear from each other and have real conversation and see each other's body language and not talk over each other because we can't see the whole crowd from our couch. Let me show you what I mean. Let me show you what happens every Sunday, just in case you've forgotten. Come with me. In person, we get to participate in baptism, hear the real sound of the water, see the child fussing and maybe crying a little bit, and perhaps chuckling because you remember when your child was baptized and was a little bit, fussy. You get to see the person speaking from the lectern. You get to hear their voice, even the little mistakes in pronouncing words. Sure, you can see it on video, but the reality of them looking right into your eye as they pan the crowd, well, there's just nothing that replaces that. To hear the prayers and the liturgy brought from the altar itself, to share the body and blood of our Lord in person, shoulder to shoulder, whether it's in the line or at the rail. Having that small piece of bread, the body of Christ, handed from one human hand to another, in the midst of the community, as communion was designed to be. You get that only here. To the smell and the look of the candles that are lit, representing the light of Christ, seeing them flicker live, seeing the smoke rise. You can only get that here. To see and hear the piano, the band at 10:30. To see the looks on all the faces at once. To hear all of the richness of the sound is an experience like the concert, the live concert, that you can't get anywhere else. You know, musicians love being in the studio because they can fix their little mistakes and do take 2 and take 3 and take 4. But I think every musician will tell you there is nothing like live. There is nothing like the sound of the musicians around you and the reaction of the people and the vibration of voices lifted in song. There's more. You miss the comfort of knowing that some things, in the midst of crazy change every day, you miss the comfort of knowing that so-and-so sits in this seat, so-and-so sits in that seat. They're little things, but they remind us that God abides always. You miss the light of the stained glass windows, dancing on the pews and the floor of the chancel as the sun comes through. It's remarkable. But with our fixed cameras, you just can't see that. Come on along. You miss the sound of lungs, large and small, voices high and low, singing in unison. Garrison Keillor once said that there's nothing more beautiful than Lutherans in 4-part harmony. He's right. But through the digitalization that the soundboard does, you just lose a little bit of that. You miss our very friendly and capable ushers greeting you at the door, asking you, hey, how was your week? How are you doing? Really sincere, real concern, wondering, hey, how are you? And saying, we are glad, genuinely glad that you're here. There's more upstairs. Come on along. In person, you get to hear our bell choir, the singing of the bells, is remarkable in person. You get to see the faces, young and old. The bell choir is growing, and it's one of our most age-diverse groups. It's remarkable. We have kids in elementary school and people for whom elementary school was a long time ago. But you don't get the fullness of it on video. You get to hear the organ. Really a living thing. It has lungs and windpipes just like us. And it's expertly played. It's expertly played. And you just don't get the full experience of hearing these pipes resonate as the wind is pushed through them. You don't get to hear and literally feel when some of those low notes are struck. Literally feel the vibration in the room. And aside the organ, you just don't get to hear clearly our gifted vocal musicians who cantor our service every week at 9 o'clock, share their incredible gifts, their incredible voices. Yes, you can hear them on the video, but it's just not the same. One more place. One of the things that our church and all of my colleagues reported is that the one thing that people really wanted as COVID came to an end was to get back to church for fellowship. For people that they hadn't seen during the week, for people that they felt like they had been isolated from over the years. And so here we are in Founders Hall. What's worship without coffee and donuts, right? Well, the coffee and donuts are just a vehicle to see people sitting around the tables, sharing smiles and laughs, concern for one another, prayers for those in need, both pains and joys. I hope with this little tour, you've seen how important being here in person has become. We took it for granted before COVID, and I hope we never take it for granted again. So here's what's going to happen. In September, after Labor Day, we're going to begin to adjust our video usage and policy. No one will ever be shut out of video for any reason. But I encourage you to ask yourself, can I participate in person? Or is video the only option? You might be sick, recovering from an injury, hospitalized, traveling, whatever it might be. Maybe you had the flu this week and just don't want to share it with the rest of the congregation. Great idea, thank you. But if you can be here, if you can, please choose to do so. If you can join us in person for a meeting, if you can be with the community in events that have been planned, and most importantly, if you can be in the building in person for worship, you are giving this place a great gift. You are giving it your life, your energy, your vibration, everything that is about you. You're lending your eyes, your ears, your voice to this community. You know, I think if Jesus had had video, he might have used it, but he would have always been in person. He would have always been healing, teaching, serving, praying, worshiping, doing all the things that Jesus did in person, because he knew too that was where the real power was and still is. And so look for some changes. We're going to be using Zoom a little bit less for our meetings. And again, if you have to use video, I understand. But think about participating at least live on Sunday morning. Carve out that time to be with the Lord and be with your congregation as we worship together. Thanks very much.
just to bring something that's of worth that will bless your heart. I'll bring you more than a song, for a song in itself is not what you have required. You search much deeper within, through the way things appear. You're looking into my heart. I'm coming back to the heart of worship, and it's all about you, all about you, Jesus. I'm sorry, Lord, for the thing I've made it, when it's all about you. It's all about you, Jesus. All about you, yeah. King of endless worth, no one could express how much you deserve. Though I'm weak and poor, all I have is yours, every single breath. And I'll bring you more than a song, for a song in itself is not what you have required. You search much deeper within, through the way things appear. You're looking into my heart. I'm coming back to the heart of worship, and it's all about you. It's all about you, Jesus. I'm sorry, Lord, for the thing I've made it, and it's all about you. It's all about you, Jesus. I'm coming back to the heart of worship, and it's all about you, all about you, Jesus. I'm sorry, Lord, for the thing I've made it, and it's all about you, all about you, Jesus. All about you. It's all about you, all about you. I'll bring you more than a song, for a song in itself, it's not what you have required. You search much deeper within, through the way things appear.